Thanks to distractions like texts, music, calls, and more, drivers have been less focused on the road than before. This is the 21st century we are talking about. So many accidents occur each day, no doubt. With all sorts of dangerous drivers around, beware of these drivers behind the wheel when you go to town. There was a pensioner as old as can be. She was an awesome driver who wanted to be free from all the worries of life. She was quite the kind wife, joyful with her high-paying job, and loved to cook corn on the cob. But as time passed, her age created problem, and she desperately wanted to solve them. When she couldn't, she became depressed, and her love for driving became repressed. And so she quit her job and received a pension. She left her husband at the first mention of her worsening personality, and quit her dreams that gave way to reality. Her pension was pretty low, so she decided to drive just as slow. One day her pension stopped, and when it did, her pace dropped. The pensioner simply stopped in the middle of the road. The drivers behind her were ready to explode. There was a driver, law-abiding was she, with driving skills that were en fleek as can be. Switching into lanes requires precision, but this is no challenge as she signals and swerves perfectly into position. She counts to 5 when stop signs are presented, and she blows up in fury like Hulk when stop signs are circumvented. Cut her off once, nemesis she suddenly becomes, going after a perpetrator as bad as they come. You may think she's throwing shade, but was she just supposed to just cower and fade? Ordinary Joe is now defensive and responds to her rage. You have no chill, says he, which causes a rampage. Blowing off steam felt alleviating, her anger subsided. Can one drive calm while one is recklessly intercepted? What more can one endure, except for a lethargic old pensioner? He thought himself an excellent driver, but he was a nagging rider. The man was quite good, a true knight on the road. Chivalry is not yet dead, for he waves and yields. He drives 65 in the passing lane to act as a shield. He never exceeded the speed limit, and yielded even when he wasn't supposed to do it. For some reason, he was always followed by a long queue and honking. There was a car habiter who always raced with time. Early every morning she rose on the 5th chime. To beat the early birds of the road and fight for a parking space, she might as well been there all night. Before her first class began, she'd sleep in her car and have a banana with yogurt in a mason jar. If you ever take a look inside, you'll see. No surprise if you find shoes, blankets, clothes, and coffee. No wonder it can be a closet, kitchen, or bed. A comfortable apartment to return to, but she'd live there instead. To get a ride in that car, you'd have to move everything off the passenger seat to depart. On the next lane, a lady drove solo, a firm believer of the meaning YOLO. Alternating between the wheel and a bag of chips, she wipes her hands as the oil drips. Finally passing on her 6th exam, although fairly smart, she still prefers the regulations in Mario Kart. Claiming that stop signs were only an option, she ignored others' warnings to proceed with caution. The fact that she had never received a ticket may seem to be a result of skill, so she can redeem her lack of art in driving with art and scheming. But that is a misconception, as she is often daydreaming, and the lack of encounters with the cops are merely strokes of luck at tops, as the common occurrence of speeding appears to go unnoticed by herself and overseers. An aspiring editor en route to a job interview, the first one she's going to, all previous opportunities there was a lot, unfortunately rejected her on the spot, claiming that she did not have what it takes, as her application contained too many grammar mistakes. Optimistic about what the future will bring, but first she has an interview to wing. There was a policeman who was female, because she was tougher than winter hail. She rushed to help all the civilians, for she used to work in the pavilions. Townsmen loved her, even the criminals. The amount of haters was minimal. Only her close co-workers hated her. She thought because she wore boots with the fur. Her favorite shows were Breaking Bad and Cops, and Walter White was the name of her pops. So let this be a lesson to drivers, a warning from your caring providers. Stay off the roads if you wish to live, because streets only have danger to give. We thank you for watching our breaking news. A goodbye from us and our TV crew.